Hello.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm good. We took some time off, so I thought I'd feel more recharged, but still feeling like I need 2 more weeks.
Yeah, the hard thing is, we pretty much took the last couple of weeks off, me just working a little bit what we could do. But yeah, it was very much a lot of downtime. But being in quarantine and being on downtime, it gets boring really fast, you know?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I didn't do much, to be quite honest. I think I just took a lot of naps and
Binged a lot of shows, huh?
binged a lot of shows, exactly. But I mean, I guess I could have gotten outside and done some like outdoor stuff, but it's just been too cold in Santa Fe.
Mm,
So no, I was definitely more of a homebody.
yeah, same here. Same here.
Alrighty, so just waiting for folks to show up.
Hey, Alyssa, good to see you, or see your picture at
Hi,
least.
Hey, Alyssa.
Tim. Happy New Year. It's great to see a familiar face.
Yeah, yeah, great to hear your voice.
My the video, my internet cuts out when I turn on my video. So I'm getting a new laptop. It's coming soon.
Mm. Sure, I'll bet you just didn't comb your hair today.
Say that again?
I'll bet you just didn't comb your hair today.
That too.
Oh,
Unlike me.
it's always combed, right?
That's right. It's always perfect.
Not a bad thing.
Hey everyone, this is Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Hey.
Hello.
I am giving folks a few more minutes to arrive while I pull up the doc and take a look at what we're doing. But it looks like there's already an awesome agenda in here, and it's full of CDCon because it's coming up faster than you think, and we have an amazing team in place making it happen. So, are there other things that folks would like to add to the agenda? Perhaps that aren't related to CDCon, or perhaps that are related to questions that you have about CDCon?
I think the only other thing I might add, Rosalind, is GSOC. We're going to be putting out a blog, but just also reminding folks if they want to submit project ideas, if they want to be a mentor, this will explain how to do all of that. But we just haven't published it yet, just more of a reminder.
Okay. Let's see, who else do we have on the call? Jim, I missed where you are calling from. What company do you work for?
I run a North American Devops group,
Oh, exciting.
and I'm also a developer advocate at SHIPA.
Okay. Oh, SHIPA. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you for that. Tracy's here.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Happy 2021. Hope you all.
Thank God, right?
You're here.
I don't know. Has anyone seen that comic of a whole bunch of people hiding behind a corner and pushing the door open with a broomstick, just in case you don't know what's behind the door for 2021?
Yeah, I've seen the one that's been going around that says, I'd like to see the terms and conditions of 2021 before I commit.
Before I wish you a happy.
Yeah, before I make any resolutions, I need to see the terms and conditions of 2021.
Sign a prenup on this year, right?
Wouldn't that be great? Should get the
Yeah.
payout. Not that we should be complaining about the payout for 2020, really, all said and done. But anyway,
Gonna be a brighter year. Only things to look forward to at this point, right?
yes, absolutely. And like CDCon is one of those things, right?
Yay.
Because this was 2020 was a sink or swim year for virtual engagement, and I think CDF did an awesome job of swimming and figuring out something that was successful and that we can grow, and we learned a lot, and it's going to be even better this year. So
Yeah. Get used to it.
Gotta get
2021.
Tracy, we were wondering if we had anything else to add to the agenda besides Jackie added added a GSOC item. I admit I'm not adding anything because it's the 5th.
Yeah. I think just an update from some of our other groups, and I'll keep this one short. But we have an end user council, and they are pushing forward some topics that they want CDF to focus on as an industry and as a set of groups. So I wanted to highlight kind of the things top of mind there, because I expect we'll do a lot of campaigning around their top, whether it's DevSecOps or measuring DevOps success or compliance or whatever. But we want to get folks in lockstep with what our lovely end users are saying they want to hear more of.
That sounds great, and that's great information. So glad to add that to the agenda. All right. Maybe did I actually get everyone who's here? Did anyone else come? No.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. A lot of our always friends on the call today, and we also have Jim. So
that sounded a bit like our always friends and Jim.
And that guy.
Jim's a new always friend, right, Jim? Right.
That's right.
I guess I'm not.
But,
I gotta dig myself out of a hole first, but I think I can do it. I have about 30 more minutes to dig out. So
Hey, if it's funny, you have to say it. So I'm game for
all right.
for being the butt of the joke.
If you like jokes,
Come for the continuous delivery, stay for the insults. Yeah.
now that's a shirt right there. I may be the only one wearing it, but I want that shirt next Christmas. Okay. Should we start late? Yeah, let's talk about the, is it Jackie, will you be the one giving the update on the planning committee?
Yeah, I'll give that. So I know I sent out a doodle form out. Everybody replied back, and it looks like every other Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is what worked for the majority of the folks. So that's what we're going with. So starting tomorrow, we're meeting bi-weekly at 8 a.m. And then I've also included the Google, the first bullet point, is the Google invite. And then I've also included the Zoom link and then other documents related to that. But the most important and exciting part of this is that the event landing page, registration, and the sponsorship prospectus are ready and are live on the webpage. So all of those links there, if direct you to the event landing page, it's still pretty bare bones as we are, working on opening the CFP. And then once the CFP is open, it looks like around March timeframe, we'll be able to start publishing some of our schedule. The CFP is the only one that is not open yet. That should be opening on January 11th. But yeah, so we're able to take registrations now. It's free. So if people want to go and register, and yesterday I sent out an email to our email list announcing a save a date for June 23rd and 24th. So our community is aware of that, but we'll keep sending out these emails as updates come in. So I think the next email will be like the CFP is opened January 11th, and it will provide all that key date. And then also the sponsorship prospectus is ready. If people, I did send out an email before we all went out on break. If folks had feedback to enter it in the document where we take all of the notes for the planning meeting. I didn't see any, so we went ahead and published it. But if folks want to take another look at it, we can do that review here, or we can also collect more feedback offline and also in our meeting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I was just going to add, like, I think we did a super big push at the end of last year to get everything ready. So we are starting off on the right foot, and I'm so glad we did, because I can't remember what happened 2 weeks ago. But yeah, no, just really happy to have the website up there. I think we are, like, even just from CDCon last year, we've learned so much about who we're targeting, about, you know, bringing together this intersection of DevOps and open source, and you know, pushing that forward and starting to include the C-suite in that audience, so we can help them make good decisions and support our developers. Yeah, so just super excited to just keep pushing this event and get it all set for June.
So it looks like we had about at least 12% managers, and probably a little bit more since there's a sizable other. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and that's without having any specific targeted kind of track or roundtable. So it'll be pretty cool if we can just get them together and get them saying what they need.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and flip through this since I think we have time. Because perhaps folks will have feedback on the call. As Jackie mentioned, there's someone open to that.
Yeah. And one of the things we can point out is, and I expect we'll cover this more details, but we have been really thinking hard about, like, the sponsors and how to make sure they're getting good value for virtual events. We just know it's just not the same kind of proposition, and we're still trying to crack it. You will see a couple of things we've added to the opportunities, like for all sponsors. So specifically, I think we found a really nice way to help with the gamification to drive booth traffic. So we'll be asking kind of every sponsor to take part in that, so we'll have this gamified thing where people can collect badges or things we get from our sponsors, like sort of passcodes if they visit, and then offering up prizes. And then the other thing right at the bottom of the list, we're planning to have a CDCon jobs theater. So anyone who's hiring can come in and do a kind of lightning talk on their company and their company culture, and then sort of set up a follow up. Like, if you want to come to our booth at this time, we'll be talking about careers, or we'll be setting up even one-to-one calls, whatever you want to do as a follow up. I think one of the things that's becoming obvious to us is, like, how many people are hiring for DevOps roles and how many folks are looking to get in that space. So we really want to help all sides of our community, you know, the practitioners get better jobs and improve their career, and work with companies that support open source, and yet all our lovely members, give them those opportunities to reach some of the best people and the folks who are kind of getting involved.
Nice. I actually have I guess I have a basic question that I should probably take to the committee, but it's a short one. So it popped in my head when we were talking about the job theater. Are those only going to be, those will be like live presentations, or would they be pre-recorded, and or will they be available like on demand after the live air date so that like folks can browse like job theater stuff? And I guess that goes for other talks too. I just wanted to know if there's like a plan for that yet, and if not, we can just talk about it at the committee.
Yeah, so I think it will be more like a session in the program that sort of, here's the, you know, you just want to get the quick overview of all the companies who are really hiring and why, you know, what kind of their USP is. So we collate all those talks from folks, and you know, we might have more than one session if we have a lot of sponsors, and then they'll be treated as kind of normal session. So if you can send us a pre-recording, you can do so. If you need to do it live, we'll have folks on hand who can do that, and then the whole session will be kind of recorded and put up.
So you are going to provide the option for people to do either live or pre-recorded?
Well, that's what we're doing for the whole
all the sessions.
Yeah, we did that last year, and we'll keep doing that this year.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. And then, do you know about on demand? If sessions will be available on demand, like all of them will be available after their air date, or is it like you have to go on the air date?
So they will be available after I don't know what yet, like the lead time between making them available and not. I think there's still.
I guess for a 2-day conference, the on-demand thing isn't as important, because if it's going to be available on demand pretty soon after, then that's okay. That makes sense.
I think we have them soon. It's not instant, but I think we have them within a week or so.
Cool.
And I think we're learning from LF events team, like Hopin is adding a whole bunch of new features. So we're kind of excited to see what those are. And as we can leverage them, we might come up with other kind of fun stuff for the event or for the sponsors. So just watch the space. It's kind of evolving as we speak. So it's pretty exciting.
Tracy, in addition to the job theater, will there also be like a virtual bulletin board with some of the job postings?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Actually, and I think we may have covered this in December, but it's probably worth repeating. Actually, I'll drop a link in here, Rosalind.
If you could, virtual job board.
Yeah, if you click on the link I just shared, we just got this live at the end of last year, and we're looking to populate it. So we have a jobs board now, which is free for anyone to post, and then members get featured listings and featured job postings. And we're just starting to kind of get that populated with all our members' jobs. So is Tiffany here? Tiffany from Harness was one of our first people who tested it out. But if we would love for you, if you're hiring, to go ahead and have a go at posting your job, and we'll make sure that works ahead of CDCon. And then in CDCon, we'll have it linked from the Hopin platform, or we'll have ways to kind of feature jobs and things like that. So we're working out the tech presentation there.
I'm actually going to add this here because it seems pretty important, and that was a good question. I saw the board, but I had kind of forgotten about it. But so.
Yes, so homework for everybody. Please go get your company profile done, or find kind of the owner at your company who will do that. And to start getting the jobs done now. And as we get to CDCon, that's where we'll do kind of a really big push to highlighting to the community. But we might do that ahead of time as well. Just send something out to all the folks who've taken the training courses and things, and be like, hey, go check out these jobs.
Good stuff. Thanks, Tracy.
Awesome. Oh, that's not the right thing. Here we go. Yeah, and that's here. So that's something, if you want to sponsor the virtual job board and job theater, that's one of the sponsorship opportunities. I like these free-form experiences that you can sponsor. It's kind of like an a la carte thing. It's neat. It's really cool. All right. Anything else here? We got content here that can be sponsored. Ooh, you can do a co-located event. It's a big deal. Here's a reminder of all the folks who sponsored us last year. I think they'll pretty much all be back. We had some great speakers, and that'll be true again. Any feedback for Jackie or the LF team on the prospectus at this point? Additional feedback?
I think it's looking great.
It's fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it. And I think the only feedback that we gave was like about this, and it got incorporated, and it's not too long. I'm digging it. Okay, I'll call that. Thank you, Jackie and Tracy for all of your hard work on that. I know it's very hard work. Was there anything else here? I think we went through these things. Come to the planning meeting. That one's going to be a hard one for me to make, but I think I can do it. And projects. Are we ready to talk about GSOC, about Google Summer of Code?
Yeah, so I'll be posting a blog here in the next few days on, and we basically took the same guidelines that the Jenkins community is doing. They're doing a call for mentors and project ideas. So once I get that blog published, once Roxanne's back, then we'll hopefully be able to also integrate that into our newsletter. But if folks are interested in being a mentor, if they've got project ideas, we've got here, let me get the link. We've got a place in our GitHub repo where you can add the ideas. So let me just drop that into. So this pretty much has all of the explanation.
If you drop it into the chat, I can add it, or you can put it into the doc.
Yeah, I'm trying to not write over you. There you go. So there's that, and then like I said, we'll also send out the blog with more instructions, and it will give information on what does it mean to be a mentor, what's the time commitment like. They did a really good job of highlighting all of that, so we'll get that for folks.
So it sounds like really we have a couple of different things to promote in the next week or so. When the CFP opens for CDCon, we want folks to be tweeting that and sharing that. And then also once this GSOC blog is posted, also want people to be tweeting that and sharing that to say, hey, we're looking for project ideas. We're looking for mentors. Do you want to participate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And it closes. This one's open for a pretty long time, as I recall. Like, when does it's open for
so the deadline actually it's February. I think it's either the 17th or the 19th. But we need to ideally we would want the project ideas finalized a little bit ahead of that, because that's when the CDF as a whole has to submit the application for all of the projects.
Right. And I know there's like potentially if we get a lot of project ideas, we potentially have to negotiate with Google, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about GSOC? Was a great experience for us at Armory last year. We had 2 projects that we mentored, and we ended up, I think it's a great way to like hire people, find people to hire. Great way to. We ended up getting both of the participants involved in some of our like community events for Spinnaker, and that was really great. One of them taught a workshop and also did a talk at our Spinnaker Summit that was like well attended. So that was a good. We had good outcomes from that. So I highly recommend other companies to take a look at that as an opportunity. Make sure that your mentors have enough time to devote to the project, because it really can be a boon. All right, Tracy, end user council.
Just before we do that one, I just wanted to do a quick reminder. I'm going to stick a Google Doc. We had a spreadsheet where we're trying to track events coming up this year.
Oh, right.
So I will be going in and kind of tidying it up and setting it up for 2021. But if any of our members have events that you're planning for this year, or you're involved with, or you think, hey, this is a cool event we're attending, if you could drop that in there, or just let me know and I'll add it in. I think we want to make sure we're kind of aware of all the industry events or events our members care about, so we can figure out, whether we want to send speakers there, whether we want to sponsor, whether we want to have a booth, or what we're doing with those. So yeah, please just a regular call to add in your events to this spreadsheet. And we also promote them on CDF.
Hey, Tracy, just a quick question. So for this year, NADOG is going to be doing a weekly online event. Is that too many to add? I don't, if you want me to go in there and add 48 events to this list, but one, we'd love to, share these events with anyone who would like to attend. And then also for events kind of further out, like in second and third quarter, we're looking for people to speak at those as well. Maybe a good warm-up session for people who want to speak at CDCon.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the best way to go about that is. I don't want to log in and start spamming that list with a bunch of, like I said, we're doing 48 online events this year.
Yeah, maybe if we can put in a section there and we can have the links and things.
A section for regular events?
Yeah.
Like
so
maybe it's just kind of a matter of reformatting the document, because I think you're probably not the only one who has that kind of thing. We definitely want it to be visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got an events page, so we could just say, hey, there's a weekly recurring event. It's on a different day and time every week, but at least they can click on the events link and then they can see what's coming up. And
yeah, no, definitely get that linked. And then we can also think about maybe sharing that with our ambassadors, or get that in front of the ambassadors to be like, hey, you should be speaking at this, or you might want to check out these talks. And I expect there's an overlap there with the folks anyway. So,
and then I also wanted to talk to you guys too about the best way to leverage NADOG to drive more awareness for CDF, right? So at each one of these events, where should I be sending them? When I do follow-ups, when we do our weekly emails, what links, what should I bring to their attention to help drive that traffic back to you guys too?
Yeah, so maybe, well, anyone kind of jump in. I would say the big one is probably CDCon. Maybe we can look at the talks as well. Based on the topics, there might be specific things we'd want links to, either projects or kind of, I know we'll be planning to do a lot of work on our website this year, so I don't think we're quite ready to kind of funnel people to that. So yeah, I think short answer for now, CDCon. And then we can get more specific based on topics as we improve our website.
Maybe if you'd like, Tracy, too, I don't know if you'd be the right person to do this or not. I mean, you spoke at one of our events before, so I'm sure you'd be great, but maybe like a few months before CDCon, we could do kind of like, the state of CD or something like that, and then use that as a way to talk about what's happening in CD, then also to tell people, hey, this is, if you want to learn more, CDCon's coming up in a couple of months.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds great. Kind of some events, CDCon pre-events, and we get a few folks from the community come along and talk about state of CD. That sounds awesome.
I would love to speak to your group as well. So if you would have me, I'd love to be part of that. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll just drop my email into the chat.
Yeah, I think doing some more kind of cross promotion with NADOG, making sure our members and ambassadors are aware of your events, and then vice versa. That'll be awesome.
Awesome. Hopefully, is it okay, Jim, for me to put your email in the doc like this so that folks looking at the doc can see that they could contact you about NADOG if they want to participate?
Of course.
Thank you for sharing that calendar, Tracy. And so it sounds like maybe there's an action item to rejigger the count, like reformat the calendar a little bit so that can be added. Is that the
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that. I'll just archive first of all the 2020 events and then set out kind of the different quarters and a place for recurring ones. Anyone else have an event coming up soon or this quarter we should know about?
There is. I am helping to support Devops Online Summit too. I don't know if you guys are talking to them at all and or doing anything with that.
DevOps Online Summit.
Tracy Reagan, is that the one you're?
Oh, that's right.
speaking
Tracy's
at?
running one of the tracks.
Doing a track, yeah.
Yes.
Tracy's here.
Do you want to say a little about that? Actually, this might be a good place to.
Sure. So I had the honor of managing the CI/CD track, which is pretty fun for me. And I've asked for talks on two things: trends, CI/CD trends, and the other topic I'd like to see is the CI/CD ecosystem. So anything that plugs into the CD pipeline, you know, container scanning, security, testing. So those are the kinds of tracks I am looking for. And I've reached out to every woman I know in the technology field and asked for their talks. Well, I'd like to be able to have, you know, a good number of women because there are a lot of women in DevOps and I want to make sure they can shine.
How many speakers are you looking for?
I have to find that out. I don't know how many speakers. I don't.
I am woefully
Sorry,
unaware of this event.
Tracy, do you know Lauren Langdale, who runs Women in DevOps?
I have heard her name and people have said you should talk to her, but I've never reached out. And Tom actually knows her as well, and he was going to connect us.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, she's really well connected, and she runs a group similar to NADOG, but it's obviously focused on women in more underrepresented groups in the space. So I think she would be a good.
Yeah, if you want to do if you have her email and want to do an intro, I'd love for that to happen.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Is that this? Am I looking at the wrong thing? DevOps Online Summit? So we're
Yeah, that's it.
In April? Okay, cool.
It's pretty, you know, he does it pretty kind of stealth. Everything he does is through Slack.
Yeah.
It's pretty organic, and I had a lot of fun with it last year.
Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of thing. Did you email me about it? I don't know if you did. I will follow up with you later. There you go. Cool. Oh, sorry. I think that's you, Tiffany. Tiffany, are you in the call now? I think you're there. Yes, that's you.
Yes.
Okay. I was looking for Mars. Right. Anything else about events? Anything coming to mind? I'm trying to remember your last name. We'll find it later. Blog posts. I see.
Yeah, there's two little, well, not too little actually. There were two blogs that got posted towards the end of the year that actually I wanted to call out. We've been doing a recap of all of the programs that the CD Foundation has been running. And I wanted to mention the blog because the blog had some outstanding growth from 2019 to 2020. So we had a 900% growth in the number of blogs that we posted. And I just wanted to highlight that too, because Roxanne's been doing an awesome job running this program. And so I just wanted to highlight some of these stats, and a lot of blogs have been coming out with stats of all of the programs. Like there was one for the podcast, there was one for the webcast, and so we've been doing that for everything we've been running. So yeah, 900% growth was awesome, and 2 minutes and 30 seconds being spent reading is also a lot of time to spend on a page. So I was very happy with that. So that's why I wanted to also highlight that since we have a little bit of time. And then I also wrote a blog on diversity and inclusion for the CDF program that we have. So we wrapped up the year with about 82 members. And I also highlighted some stats of just like the work that we have to do still in the tech industry, because there's a big lack of diversity, not only in ethnic diversity, but also in gender diversity. So it talks about some of those trends just to educate folks on what that landscape looks like. And then it gives a summary of what CDF is and what we're trying to do with this group.
This is great. I'm glad to see you pointing out like this is the work that we have yet to do. That's the way to approach it. And okay, so just back to your question, Jim. I think one of the other things that you can do to promote the CDF is not like it. Please do promote CDCon, but I think also just promoting or like talking about some of these programs that Jackie's been that our team has been doing. So like the blog, and then also the podcast. That I don't know if there's probably some kind of either content or like a card or something that you can use to easily promote it. And Jackie might know of something there, or I could think of it later, but just kind of be like, oh, hey, have you seen this blog? There's like a lot of great content on here. And then here's a podcast. And not only it's a two-way thing, right? So it's like, what I like to say is like, not just come check out our blog, but also like, do you want to be featured on our blog? Because like anyone can submit content to it that's relevant. So, and there's actually a form for submitting it. And same thing for the podcast, like we like to feature our members and like, featured content on there. So it's like a great place for people to build their profile while also engaging with us.
Yeah. Super happy to do that. We actually just launched our own blog page as well. And so we're featuring mostly just our members of our group who want to share things they've written or videos they've done. So I don't know if that'd be the best place to maybe just link to what you guys are doing there, or I can definitely put stuff on a regular basis on social media. Anything you send to me, just let me, like if you ever want me to post anything like that. I have 18 or 19,000 followers, so it gets pretty good exposure on LinkedIn. Twitter, not so much, but LinkedIn it does.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't even know how to use Twitter.
That's also why we wrote these, not only because we're doing the annual report, but I think it was also, my vision for the CD Foundation is also for a place for people to come consume content. And so there's a lot of good content that is coming out of the CD Foundation that a lot of the times people can see useful. So that's also why like the webcast, the podcast, the blog, all of this is content that, if people want to be writing or contributing, they can see, we have a baseline now of what those metrics are. So I think it's a good starting point for people who are curious about how people are consuming the content, like how much exposure would they get. I think these blogs wrap up all that really nicely.
Yeah. And I think, well, back to this subject for a moment, I think the more we make the content mechanisms accessible and the more we encourage people to do it, especially as we find people like people of color and women who are participating in our communities, like if we have a bigger funnel, then we can feature more of the content from folks who we really want to feature. So like, yeah, thank you for helping us do that.
Of course, yeah. Just let me know what I can do and what the best way to do it is as well.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm more than happy to put stuff on social media whenever you
Okay.
have it. Just bring it to my attention. Say, hey, would you mind posting this? And anything you'd like me to feature on our website too that links back to CDF. Happy to do that too. We're looking to fill our blog section up with as much content as possible, but obviously looking for some good quality stuff. And I think that anything from CDF is going to bring a lot of credibility to it too, and to what we do.
Okay, perfect. I will do this later and I will sign myself. Sorry. All right. Tracy, we have a few more minutes to do. Did you have an update on end user council that you wanted to share?
Yes, yeah, I can give an overview, and I see John Mark is here, so he can step in as well.
Awesome. Yes.
So, hey, John Mark. So I'm pretty excited about our end user council, which is a community that John Mark he heads up, and he leads that group. And it's a lot of our members. So just for anyone who doesn't know, an end user is someone who's part of a company that uses technology as opposed to, let's say, a software vendor. So they're kind of consuming, I think the lines blur a lot, but mainly we want to help them focus on adoption of new tools or technology or practices. So one of the things that has come out of that group who meet monthly is that they are really pushing for some deep dives on topics of interest. And they want us to almost kind of, help focus everybody on those topics so we can really leverage CDF in all its communities. So it's not just the end users who might be coming together to discuss something, but it would be like, okay, let's take that topic to our projects. Let's take it to the interoperability group, to the TOC, and let's have everybody's input on it. Let's take it to the member companies. And then with all that input, we can all kind of learn together. So you could think of it as kind of like industry swarming on a topic. And then at the end of the 3 months, we kind of summarize the learnings. Either we have a forum, so a kind of panel discussion, which we do to the wider audience, or we put together like a white paper on the topic and include kind of a mix of here's how XYZ company is doing it. Here's how different vendors support it in a tool. Here's how it's being handled in open source. Here's our recommendations for the future. So to give an example, one of the first topic that we're going to kick off with for this quarter is measuring DevOps success. So like we're hearing from folks, hey, they want to know, what does that mean? I think that's going to be anchored in like the 4 keys from the DORA folks. So, what are those measures? How are people measuring them today? What does the tooling support? What's the reality? And what do they want to see coming out from the industry? Like, should they be kind of standardized? Do we want more dashboards? Do we want it automated? So it's kind of like a full exploration on that topic. So I think we'll publish the editorial calendar. So the other topics, we haven't quite locked down the dates and put it in a consumable format, but I expect it to be things like developer experience, technology choices, politics and culture, which includes governance and compliance, and then security and DevSecOps in general. So we'll publish the calendars. So we just had a really good meeting at the end of last year, and we just need to kind of collate all that input. And then, so I think what we'll be looking for is just help from this group to sort of help promote the topic of the quarter and also reach the people who should be talking about it. So either the end users who want to come and share what they're doing, or the people who are kind of doing the cutting edge work on that topic to come and share what they're doing, so we can kind of have wider conversations around it, kind of work out what the next steps would be, maybe some dedicated roundtables or meetings, and just like get everything aligned from our CDF meetups to our podcast to everything, to just sort of say, okay, we're really doubling down on this topic. We're going to learn as an industry, and then we're going to kind of conclude and wrap up the state of measuring DevOps, or the state of developer productivity, and what does that mean, and what are patterns and anti-patterns and things like that. So does that make sense? And John, Mark, is that a fair way to capture it? Anything?
Absolutely. I mean, we had a good session where we laid out kind of the 4 general topics, you know, where we'll have like sort of quarterly, what's the word I'm looking for? Collateral, you know, video, online discussions, that sort of thing. And hopefully we can combine sort of these deep dive online discussions. I'm avoiding the use of the word webinar because I hate that word, but
Thank you.
buttressing
we
that
call
with,
it webcast now.
very nice, very nice. Buttressing that with like whatever, you know, long form content makes sense, whether it's a quote unquote case study or some other, you know, educational content that others can take away and use for their organizations. So yeah, we had a really good participation last time. It looks like we got people signed up to take on, you know, to be leads, content leads for different areas. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of the expert panels we can put together on a quarterly basis.
Yeah, so for the first topic, measuring DevOps, I guess a call to action is, if you know anybody who wants to be involved in those discussions one way or another, let us know. We'll be making sure we take it to all our community groups, so to the ambassadors, to the interoperability group, to the talk, and to the outreach. So we'll keep you up to date with what's happening. But then if you, as the specific topics you want to get more involved, either as a company, as an open source project, or just helping us push it and help get the message out, then we really appreciate that.
So just to be really clear, if I know anyone who should be involved in measuring DevOps topic, I send them to the council meeting, or I have an email?
Yeah, just put them in touch with me for now. Basically, if they are an end user, then we'll onboard them to the council meetings. We'll give them a bit of homework, like, hey, can you come share what you're doing at your organization? If they are kind of more just doing work in the space, then I think we're still working out how to share that. Like, we want to kind of survey like what's being done there. So we would probably ask them maybe to write a blog post or attend a meeting where we have a discussion around, you know, what are they doing in the space? What are they seeing? What do they think? How do they think it should be going? So we'll probably have some bespoke meetings where we can then pull the end users and the folks doing the work in the space and pull that out to like just a specialized meeting for that.
Okay. So you're going to be the, you're going to sort of coordinate all of that right now.
Yes. Yeah. So we haven't operationalized.
People into
right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we're figuring it out.
Okay.
Thanks. My brain hasn't quite kicked in post-holiday. There's still some cobwebs in here. So thank you for carrying that forward.
Yeah. I think it's just a lot of conversations to be had. And then when we sort of learn what different people want, then we'd be like, okay, we need to get all you folks in a room together and talk about it. And some of that might be like in the interoperability group, if it falls under the umbrella of standardization or common APIs. And some of it might just want its own space for conversation.
Yeah, that makes sense. At this point, it's kind of organic, figuring out what it can be, and like it's an exciting place to be. So, yeah. And wait, so it's it's quarters, but it's like not fiscal quarters. So the quarter would end in.
It's calendar quarters.
Calendar.
Yeah. So
that's 3 months.
anytime.
End of March. Okay.
Yes, there you go. And frankly,
So-
any time within that time span.
Yeah.
Where we
Okay.
can get it.
Yeah. And I think the general structure will be kind of like the first month where we'll have the discussions and we'll scope it. So we sort of say, here's what the end user council wants to scope. The second month, then we'll get into the meat of it and start running the webinars or writing the blog posts or asking people to talk about it. And then the third month is when we have all the collateral coming out, or the final forum, or whatever piece of a case study or something.
And I think this is another place where it would be great to have more of a collaboration with NADOG to find out who are the experts who are excited and talking about in this case measuring DevOps, and let's see who of them wants to be involved. So maybe this is another place where having a little bit of some kind of message that Jim can put up somewhere, or a card or something, might be helpful so that you can help us promote it. So we'll add that to the list of things to copy to share with you, because I think that's what you need for those.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we have a new Slack workspace as well, and I'm happy to invite any of you who would like to be in that too. We have about 400 or so people in it right now, but we have 13,000+ members, so we're hoping that a lot more of them start to join and participate. So that'll be a good place to tap people for those kinds of things too. We hope.
Yeah,
but it's only like 4 weeks old right now, so with the holidays and everything, I think with everyone back, we should see a lot more people join and start participating there.
Exciting.
And then one thing I was going to mention, circling back to another topic, Jim, you mentioned how can you stay up to date on the content that's coming out of the CD Foundation. So one of the things that we just started doing at the end of the year was, so Tracy emails the governing board a content pipeline of everything that we've produced for that week and got published. And we're doing the same thing for the outreach committee. So that email usually comes out at the end of the week, like on a Friday. That is the content is coming down the pipeline. And then we'll also include LinkedIn and tweets, tweet link to retweet and to reshare that post. So I just thought of that. If you're not part of that outreach list, please sign up, because you'll be getting that weekly.
I think I am. Where
Weekly
do I?
update. So here's
Oh yeah, that's not it.
Here's the link to the CD Foundation outreach list to sign up to get to be part of that mailing list.
Okay. By the way, I put the NADOG Slack link in there. Any of you who would like to join, just click that link and you should be able to add
Okay,
yourself.
cool.
Add that to the notes. Thank you for sharing that.
Oops, I messaged John Mark instead of everyone. Sorry.
Okay, so there's your list. Joining.
Yeah, so if you,
Cool. Okay.
Do I just click join this group at the bottom?
You should be able to.
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
And if not, I can always go in the back end and add you manually if it didn't add you to it.
I think the outreach one, it is only for members, so there might be a level of someone has to just manually approve it, just so we make sure it's just members, but we can go do that today.
Oh wow, I'm not blocked from doing this. This is awesome.
No Google Docs for you, but you can do Groups.io.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, I can actually participate. I'm impressed.
Perfect. And yeah, for anyone else on the call as well, please make sure you're on that. If not, reach out to us and we'll fix it.
I don't even know if I'm on it. Okay. All right, we are short on time here, and I want to be respectful to folks. So do we have anything else to talk about before we wrap up or add to the agenda for our next meeting in a couple weeks? Jim is now officially an old friend. So we've established
I'm old.
Oh, let's see.
think that's it for me.
I think so too. Thanks everybody for your time today. And man, Jackie and Tracy, you're putting us all to shame. We're all trying to like get back to our January selves, and you were like already there. So next time we'll all be at your level.
Impressive.
All last year's work, and you can see him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Happy to not be looking after the kids today. Yay!
Is that why you're so happy, Tracy? We were like, dang, she is on it today. She is
Jackie
so
and I-
relaxed.
Is awake and happy.
I know.
know.
I was just like, what? I need what she's taking.
I say I do love my kids, but it's so much easier working and predictability versus the randomness of like, look at this, look at that, look. So this is good. Glad to be back with you all.
Okay. Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yay!
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And like, this is gonna be the year of the CDF.
Yay!
Get ready.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Cool.
Bye bye.
See you, everyone.